It's 5 o'clock Mountain Time. That means it's time for Tom and Shane, business and politics. And our big question of the day: will the Democrat presidential ticket be Biden and Harris? That's what we need to explore today, Shane. Will Joe will Joe run, or will it be? Are they going to pull somebody else out of the wings? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's all a setup for him to walk away. I don't think he'll run. I don't know whether Harris will or not. She'd be foolish to. She won't go anywhere.
Yeah,
But look, the Bidens announced in April they were gonna run in 24,
yeah.
and then he takes this attitude last November before that announcement that he wants the first primary in South Carolina where he won
Mm-hmm.
in 20. And
North
I
Carolina,
mean North
actually.
Carolina. Thank
Yeah.
you for correcting
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
And then of course the other difficulty he hasn't signed up to run, and he hasn't filed to run in Iowa or New Hampshire or Colorado, and so now the 15th of June, they announced that he may not even bother to be on the ballot
Mhm.
in Iowa and New Hampshire. So
Yeah.
I think they think that maybe that's the best way to open this up. Have other people jump in hopefully, and
Mhm.
sometime after Iowa, but I would guess between Iowa and New Hampshire, which is a short period of time.
Yeah.
And he'll just say I'm not running because he can't. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a bust. It's all over for
Mhm.
him.
Well, the earliest filing date I could find for getting into the presidential race was October 16th in 2023 in Nevada. That's the earliest filing deadline, Shane.
Right.
So he doesn't have to be anywhere.
Well, he didn't go there. He didn't file.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's the earliest date.
Well, that's not until October. I mean, he's got you know.
I know, but he can file in North Carolina after October.
I appreciate that, but I
Yeah.
I, I just don't see him even running again. He's finished. It's a washout every day. Literally, I mean, it's a washout.
Okay.
Even the main media is finally ascending to the point of this is beyond ridiculous, and it's just
Mm.
abuse. It's just it's elder abuse or whatever you want to call it, or it's
Yeah.
bad politicking or dementia or you're too old or you know
Well,
whatever.
if
And
that's if that's all true, then the DNC is going to look like fools because at their meeting in February, they unanimously passed a resolution committing full and complete support of Biden and Harris. Unanimously, full and complete support in
yeah, but
February.
the key to that is February. He didn't say or announce until April. So
Doesn't
even
matter.
no, but the thing is, February,
Yeah.
March. I
Hmm.
mean, he waited 2.5 months. So I I can't see the Democratic Party, passing some resolution saying we're not going to support him. I mean, he's the head of the party. He's the president of the United States. They, the problem with American politics is until the primaries or something else that's terrible has
Hmm.
happened, which has happened to him. I mean, he's
Yeah.
had so many black swans land on his head, not on the lawn, not on the roof,
Hmm.
not even in his lap, right on his head, since April.
Yeah.
And this last week with Fourth of July and this whole thing with his son settling with his adulterous girlfriend and denying his daughter his name, and Biden and his wife denying her as I don't know,
Hmm.
step granddaughter. She shouldn't be. She's just a granddaughter.
Yeah.
He personally looks bad, politically looks bad, financially the economy is not healing well, and
Okay.
it's a mess. This is like liar's poker. You take a card and put it on your forehead, and you
Yeah.
know,
All right. Well, a couple things Bruce says. Biden's gone. It's going to be either Newsom or RFK. Well, I'll tell you, the DNC is not going to let RFK get anywhere near the presidency. So that's a
They
done
may, but
deal.
see, that's the problem that they've created for themselves, is that it could create literally a tsunami. If he wins Iowa and wins New Hampshire and say he does it significantly, and then goes into Carolina and knocks that one off. Not what, you're going to put Newsom up? Yeah, Newsom is literally an example of a dead ringer. I mean, he's really he's a ringing dead politician.
Yeah, I don't see him going anywhere, even if he decides to get in. But Biden either retires or gets impeached. He won't be impeached because you got a Democrat controlled Senate, and that ain't going to happen. So
That's right.
that's a no brainer.
No, but you keep piling it on. You keep investigating.
Yeah.
You keep making because he's denied what's happened and supported his son the way he has, and you keep piling it on. You keep investigating because then you start piling it on the entire party, and not just him, because it is the entire party. The entire party is corrupt to the core. I mean, it's not even an apple that's bloomed yet. It's not even an apple that's bloomed yet, and it's already rotten.
Well, he's the obvious choice then, in a corrupt Democrat. Biden's the obvious choice.
They'd like to convince everyone that, but the polls all show that's not the case. Look,
we found out how accurate the polls are with Hillary.
Yeah, but I think the one poll that's important, it doesn't matter what the numbers are, just that people said they might have considered changing their vote if his son's laptop issue had been talked about in 20. And as close as this election will also be, which will be less than 500,000 votes in 5 states. As we've talked,
no, I agree.
The gay community, and
abortion,
transgender
issue,
transgender, all these things are important to the Democrats because they'll get people out to vote, and they're losing black votes, so they got to replace those votes to win, and that's why this is going to be it's going to be such an interesting go around to see what the numbers are, the day after the election or a week, whatever.
Well, let's
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, let's take a look at Kamala just registered the lowest approval rating of any VP in history, but the first primaries in North Carolina, she has 70% approval rating with black voters and probably even higher with black housewives. I mean, her ratings are off the charts with blacks.
She has. So is Obama's
and 60% of North Carolina is black.
Yes, so is Obama's wife and Oprah, and any accomplished black women has high ratings with black women overall, and women in households. I mean,
they're going to turn out and vote, and that's why the first primaries in North Carolina.
Well, if that were to happen, if that's what you think, I think that the men will go out and vote for Trump or whoever the Republican is. I just don't see them voting for Kamala. The wife might, but the husband, he'll lie to her. He'll say,
if it's Biden and Kamala, the black vote, the 60% black vote in North Carolina is going to go all in for them.
Biden's going to step out. He can't continue.
Well, then the DNC is going to look pretty stupid for supporting him fully and completely.
Whatever. It doesn't matter how it's viewed.
Well, of course it does.
No, it doesn't. They'll lie their way through it like they do everything else.
I don't think so. Now, I think Biden's going to be the guy. And the nice thing about Biden is he doesn't have to campaign at all. He didn't have to campaign anywhere, doing anything.
Oh, okay. Well, if you say,
he can stay in the basement just like he did with Trump.
Or sit out in the balcony and drink iced tea.
Wherever. Yeah. He can sit in his car. He can sit in the bed in the garage.
Go to Camp David. Go for a bike ride at his home in Delaware. Whatever he wants.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants to because social media is gonna take care of his campaigning, and so is the news media. So there's no reason for him to campaign at all.
I'm not so sure. The media, like everyone else, relies on numbers and people watching and clicks and everything else, and I think they will continue to turn right for the numbers. And certainly, when you look at these rallies that Trump is having, they're
Mhm.
like they were and have been all along. His
Yeah.
support is far more solid than Biden's. I mean, he's under 40%. He's heading to 30 below 35%. I mean,
Yeah.
of
With
approval rating.
Republicans,
I
but he
mean,
doesn't have independents,
53
and neither does Biden.
disapproval. He's got 53 disapproval on the economy and on and on. Yeah, no. If you're going to believe polls one way, you got to believe in the other. So.
Well, that's true. Except the economy and the border won't be on the ballot. It's going to be abortion. It's going to be transgender. It's going to be affirmative action.
Well,
It's going to be
in those
religious
states, yeah,
rights.
not across the board, but in those
Yeah,
states
well,
that we
yeah, well,
no, only in those 5 or 6 states that we've talked about.
well, it's going
Across
to
the
be in the 5 or 6 states
board,
that
no,
count.
Trump or whoever, whatever Republican, they'll still take like 90% of the counties across your country.
Well,
Yeah,
they will,
so
but they're not going to take the 86 that Biden took to win and get more votes than anybody else in
well,
history.
that's the whole key, and the numbers aren't good for independents, and the numbers aren't good for millennials, young
Mm-hmm.
people. I mean, look, a
Yeah,
lot of these young people, with regards to these funds, their debt, they feel
yeah,
like they were stabbed in the back and that he lied to them. I mean,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
excuse me, you can't build a constituency and then lie to them, and he did successfully in
mm-hmm.
20 because they believed that would happen, and again he
Mm-hmm.
lied to them. So a lot of these things will come out.
Mm-hmm.
He won't show up on any stage for any debate,
No.
whether for the primaries of his party or even for a presidential debate.
Mm-hmm.
He'll shame the whole structure, the whole system. And the Republicans, they're having their first debate at the end of August on Fox, by the way, and then the second debate will be on Fox as well. And I don't expect Trump to show up for the first one, and I would expect he would show up for the second one. And I think politically
Mm-hmm.
that's a smart thing for him to do. Let them hash it out. If they want to take shots at him not in the room, that won't do them any good. So the only way
Mm-hmm.
they'll get any movement is to take shots at each other. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the whole idea of a debate. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's smart not to,
Yeah.
and I don't think anyone faults him for doing that, because
Yeah.
if it ends up being there's 5, 6, 7, or 8 people, there's still another month to go.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's see what they have to say. And
Mm-hmm.
likewise, there will be a Democratic debate, and if it's just the love goddess and JFK Jr. or Robert Jr. that show up, then again that will be to
Mm-hmm.
the disadvantage, though, of Biden, because
Mm-hmm.
seeing younger people
Yeah.
is you know is an essential thing to try and
Mm-hmm.
convince the Democratic people out there, if they need it, that there is a new generation of leaders, and here's two of us.
Yeah. Well, with a month left to go for that debate in August, the Republican debate, there's 15 candidates. Only a third of them have met any requirements so far.
Yeah,
And the big requirement is they have to sign a loyalty pledge that they will support whoever the nominee is. And a few of them are reneging on that pledge. Trump says he won't be there. DeSantis says he won't be there. So it's going to be. They might as well just call it a vice president debate if they want. If
yeah,
they want to have it.
that's a pretty good idea. No one's going to watch it.
Well, no, no.
And that's another reason why Trump's not going to show up, because no one will watch it.
Yeah.
But the minute he's on a stage for people, then everyone will watch.
Mm.
But so I'm interested in seeing what the ratings are on the debate, because I don't think that you'll have more than maybe 2 million or 3 million people even turn on Fox to watch.
Yeah, I don't even know if they'll bother. Well, they certainly won't bother if Trump and DeSantis aren't there. If Trump and DeSantis show up, then they got something to sell. But
Well, it's a
otherwise,
venue. It's a party. Everyone's having a party.
yeah. Well, they got nothing if those two stand down. I will
And if
say.
you listen to this Trump speech that he's doing on the Trump, ha ha ha, it's a lot more reasonable. Yes, he brings up 2020, but he doesn't bam blast it. He uses it as as a key to this whole issue of him being targeted. And with everything that's happened in the last 60 days on everything that we thought for the last 4 years was, a pile of shit, is all true. The Democrats are guilty of what they charged Trump of doing. And so people are now, then it's not,
Yeah.
it isn't even a two-tier system discussion anymore. It's, it's a two-tier party problem.
Yeah.
You have those running the Democrats and then everyone else they don't care about. I mean, if they don't care about their own granddaughter, how do they care about anybody else that's a
Yeah.
Democrat?
Well, Trump didn't care about any of his wives and cheating,
That's not
whatever. I mean,
true.
come
Now,
on.
come on. That's not true.
Go on.
They
So,
were well taken care of.
well, they may have been well taken care
And
of, but they weren't treated very nicely. So,
I don't know about that.
anyway,
I would
but
argue that.
well, the problem is we've got two victims running against each other. If Biden stays in,
How's
uh,
Biden a victim? You being abused? You mean
how's he
elder?
victim? Are
He's
you kidding
of
me?
elder abuse
Are you kidding me? He's not a victim. The
of what?
Comer going after him, the laptop, the Ukraine deal. This is January 6th on the Democrat side all over again, Shane. You
Wow.
telling me the Democrats aren't thinking that the GOP is doing exactly the same thing to Biden that they did to Trump with the January 6th things and all the crap that they've been
Yeah.
charging him with? Are you telling me he's not a
Well,
victim?
a month ago I probably would have agreed with you, but now it's coming out all the networks, and I'm watching them all. I'm watching all the local news
Mhm,
like Seattle and
mhm,
LA, and because I get
mhm,
them on cable, and I go and watch them, and they're all talking about it now. So it's no longer even the national uh, media of
mhm,
the national networks. It's all their local networks are now talking about it and all this stuff.
mhm.
And
And they'll forget
you know,
about it when the when the election comes next year. Because, well,
uh-huh.
let me ask you this: Trump's going to court in New York for documents. Is Biden going to court for documents? Is Pence going to court for documents? No, they're not.
Of course not. But that leads right into the argument of a two-tier system, and I'm the victim, and his line is great. I'm not.
Mhm,
I'm doing this for you. I'm the only thing
mhm,
between
mhm.
you and everything falling apart
Yeah. But if
because
I've got corrupt Trump on one side and I've got corrupt Biden on the other side, but
corrupt
Biden's
Trump.
already in office, why would I not go with the why would I not go with Biden?
You read the tea leaves as Trump being corrupt. You think Trump's corrupt?
Well, I don't know that he's corrupt,
Well,
but
you just said
you
it.
know,
Trump corrupt,
well,
Biden corrupt.
if you want to go back to the universities and the wine and the steaks and all the other crap that he extorted some people. He didn't pay a lot of bills that were owed.
No,
You
you're
know,
way
so
you're way out there, man. I tell you, look, I worked as a merchant banker.
I'm telling you what the Democrats are going to say. That's what they're saying.
I worked as an investment banker where you invest in
Hmm.
projects, and I worked as a merchant banker where you have a project to fund. And back in the 80s and 90s in little old Vancouver on the stock exchange there.
Hmm.
And it wasn't easy. Mining was pretty good. Timber was, timber, all resources were good. And I'm the son of a man who brought oil to the market in Vancouver and took it to the Toronto Exchange and the American Exchange. So I you can succeed and fail at a lot of things before you succeed
Hmm.
successfully.
Oh yeah,
and
no, I
and
agree with you.
everyone will tell you you have to learn how to succeed by learning how not to fail. So the fact that he tried to do airlines and he tried to do
Hmm.
casinos or a
Hmm.
wine or
Hmm.
water or what or online college or He had people around him and said, "Let's take a look at this." And he looked at the numbers. They put business plans together, and when they were wrong, he settled it out. And this whole thing about him burning people or not paying people, I'm sorry,
No, I agree fully with everything you're saying. And I'm saying that's what the Democrats use as their fodder. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether he cheated a charity. It doesn't matter if he cheated a university. It doesn't matter, if he, none of that matters. The only thing that matters to Democrats.
What matters to you?
No, well, the only thing that matters to Democrats is what can I use against this guy? Anything I can find, no matter if the cheating at university works, great. If
I think I think the electorate is tired of this woke stuff. I think I think the dam broke with Budweiser, and then it was followed up with Target. When people voted with their ability to the great thing to sell their stock. Great thing about being in the stock market, it's the most legitimate democracy ever could see because you can vote every day. You can either buy or sell your stock. You don't have to wait 3 months if you're an angel investor or there's restrictions on it, yes, but the general public can vote every day about the market. Well, they're not voting very well. And if there wasn't the Star 5 that they talk about all the time and the blessed 50 they talk about a little bit more, the market is, everybody is hurt by it. It's still a crash since November of last year, and it hasn't come back, and it's not going to come back, and it's partly because of Biden, but it has a lot to do with what COVID did, shutting everything down. It started up, but it turned into, instead of a V, which it could have been if Trump had been elected, it's been an L. And it's an L recovery. It always has been since 20, and that L that keeps turning down, and then it's like goes along and it goes down, and then it goes along, and it goes along and it goes down. It's a bear recovery. Every time you see the market up 200 or 300 points, all that is a bear recovery from short positions. You look at short positions on all the principal stocks, the Magic 5, the big, the Special 50, they all have 1%, 2%, 3% short positions, and we're talking tens of millions of shares short. So they're declared shorts by both market makers and people that just think that the market's topped out.
Yeah. All right. Ed says, "Stop talking like a Democrat, Tom. You're scaring me."
Yeah,
I'm not talking like a Democrat. Hang on. I'm not going to let you talk over me. Not going to let you talk over me.
Put your hand up there. I want to analyze it.
Shut up.
You have a long life. See how long my lifeline is?
Yeah. I'll just mute you. How's that? How you like that? So there we go. I'm not talking like a Democrat. I'm sounding the alarm is what I'm trying to do here. I'm letting you know that if you think this is going to be some kind of cakewalk for Republicans, the Republicans are going to be lucky if they hold the House. They'll be lucky if they they're going to lose the Senate for sure. They're probably going to lose the House, and they're probably going to lose the presidency 2024 unless people wake up and smell the coffee. Done. Help yourself.
He unmuted me everyone, so you can hear. You all can hear me once again. So Tom's a perfect Democrat. Like he wants to control free speech, and that's a good thing. I'm glad he has it in him.
No, the Democrats are going to control the free speech with social media and the media. They're going to control the free speech, which is non-existent. And if you think any Republican is going to get any airtime worthy of anything other than maybe on Fox, even CNN tried to move to the middle, and everybody over there has gotten fired. So that ain't going to happen. So tell me where they're going. Where the Republicans are going to get any kind of a message out. And I promise you, Google, the guys at Google are not going to let Trump win or DeSantis win. I mean, they're just not. As much as I hate to
Okay.
say that, but
Okay, but I also believe that whatever their position they take, as you know, to support Democrats, no one's going to listen to. No one's, people have had enough of the woke. Look, the best campaign line in the last 6 months was DeSantis when he said woke. This is where woke comes to die.
yeah.
You know, when he said that out loud to a cheering crowd in Florida, that was the
Yeah.
end of woke. It's over with. People don't want to listen to what, you know, the oracles of the internet are saying from whatever. You know, look at this decision made by a federal judge today about not being in contact with the social media. I mean,
Yeah.
it's laughable, right?
Well, there's no way you can stop it. I mean, that's like the
Well, that's the whole
stupidity.
point. You can't. It's free speech.
That's what I mean. Well, it's
Well,
just like the PAC thing, where a PAC, the candidate's not allowed to talk to the PAC. You kidding me? Somebody's going to talk to the PAC.
yeah, but I just think it was a political setup. I think these attorney generals that did that, these Republican attorney generals did that, were hoping a Democratic judge would come along and say, you can't do this. Anyone can talk to, the leaders, of social media. You can't stop them. So I would be surprised that they even bother to appeal it. I think they just walk away from it laughing, going, "Thank you."
Yeah, yeah, they probably will. But no, I still think Biden could sit in his basement and it'll still be a close race. He doesn't have to campaign. He doesn't have to debate. He doesn't have to do
I
anything.
don't disagree with you. It will be a close race.
Yeah.
And the only way the Republicans will do it, and I said this several times in the last 9 months, is they can't depend on election day. They've got millions of people out there knocking on doors. They got to sign people up that when they knock on the door, do you want to vote for Trump? Fill out this ballot. We'll be back or tell them we'll be back to have you fill out a ballot and sign it, and we will deliver it for you. And that's the only way the Republicans will win.
Well,
And it can't be in rural areas. It's got to be in suburbs. Not they won't have any success in urban areas, but they've got to do that. They got to go door knocking in suburbs, in these states: Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, Georgia. And they just have to.
well,
That's
as long
just
as they
going to be the
cover
way.
80 counties, that's all they've got to do. Because that gave Biden more votes than any president in history. So,
Well, that's right, and that they made that big error because in the last election, the Republicans, the Trump people, his campaign, they had over 12 million people on the ground. The Democrats only had 4 and still managed to do what they did.
yeah.
So if they don't manage it properly, then that's an issue. Now, your senior senator, I think he is, isn't he? No, maybe not. Tester's your senior senator.
Yeah.
So your junior senator from Montana, he's ahead of the Republican reelection Senate committee or Senate, for the party. So it will be interesting to see how he handles this whole exercise with the Senate races, and like you say, as in the House. I wouldn't be at all surprised. Well, no, I would be surprised, but I would like not to be surprised that a lot of old line Democrats that have been around for 10, 20, 30 years lose. That would be really a good thing to see. Just for the turnover, because they've been around so long that there's no backbench in the House for the Democrats for people to run for House seats. There's no bench for them in the Senate. I mean, look at the mess in California with their 89-year-old senator that they dogged out of office. And I mean, her office announced she wasn't going to run, and she denied it the next day. It took a week before she finally said, "Okay, I'm not going to run." That's how bad it is. It's so
Well, it
bad.
is. Well, that's an internal strife between Nancy Pelosi and Schiff
No,
and
it's hurting the
Newsom.
party. No, it's hurting the
It's
party.
Newsom. Well, Newsom's going to
She doesn't
nominate.
care about Newsom, or she doesn't care. All she cares about is being in the Senate and having those nice free lunches and
Can I
getting her
finish?
get no. You better be careful. I'll turn your mic off.
Well, I'll turn. You can't turn mine off.
I know
I know.
that was.
Let me finish. Newsom wants Barbara Lee, a black senator, to
Yeah,
take
you've said that. Yeah.
Feinstein's. Newsom wants Barbara Lee, a Democrat, to take Feinstein's place. He would like for Feinstein to resign. Nancy Pelosi likes Schiff for that position, and she will try to keep Feinstein going with her daughter is shuffling Feinstein around all over Capitol Hill. So that's where that particular thing stands.
Well, Feinstein it gives you an absolute example of how rotten to the core the Democratic Party is. A
Well, it
proper
is, yeah.
party, a proper party like that, once she decided she wasn't going to run, she should resign. So the governor could appoint whoever he wants,
Yeah.
and that person has the opportunity to create a position and to be able to get out before the public and sort of have a free ride to run, for the seat, but
Mhm.
get ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
But the party is so rotten that she's 89 years old. She's missed like 40% of the votes because they didn't need her vote, because she basically canceled out some Republican vote, whatever. But the point is that she's doing damage she's doing to the Democratic Party what that rotten son of a bitch from Carolina did to the Republican Party in 22, bringing up, well, when we take over the Senate, one of
Yeah.
our first things is we're going to do a national, law about 26 weeks abortion.
Yeah.
Everybody says it was Trump. It wasn't. It was one stupid ass senator that
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is that he made a name for himself during the Supreme Court approval of what's his name, the guy that they tried to
Gorsuch
Gorsuch, not
yeah.
Gorsuch, the other guy, the college guy.
Oh,
Can't think of his name.
shit.
He's
Yeah.
on the Supreme Court. I can't think
Yeah.
of his name. Anyway,
I looked at him today.
I do. I look at him all the time. Oh my!
Yeah.
Have you seen the Supreme Court picture they're using on TV? And Sotomayor isn't even wearing a robe. She's got some dopey leather outfit on.
I don't know.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is he made a name of himself standing up for this guy that was appointed by Trump to become a Supreme, and that it was cool because everybody loved him for that,
Mm-hmm.
But when he said what he said in 22, he ruined the Senate for the Republicans and a whole bunch of House seats. He was a dope.
Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking of. Yeah.
And I don't know why they keep having this guy on, the senator from South Carolina or whatever, on TV. He's just bad for the Republican Party. They shouldn't give him a platform to talk.
I don't know. Ed says free speech doesn't exist anymore. Facebook has me in jail constantly for telling the truth. And I feel your pain, Ed. I've been there a couple times myself. Thank you very much. Happy to have a cellmate from my hometown. Sounds good.
It's a lonely place to be.
Amen to that.
You can't even talk to your friends.
I know. I can't even send messages. It sucks. Yeah, you're just down. You're down for the count because
That's right.
some asshole in his mother's basement decided that I didn't like what you said.
Well, I told you a couple of weeks ago I had an epiphany, and I'm quite convinced that these major companies, you can buy up to 3% of a stock without reporting your position.
Yeah.
So when you got a company that's got 8 billion shares out, you can buy like 75 million shares. So you get 10 billionaires or 20 billionaires, and all of a sudden you have enough to control your market and maintain it and not have an issue. And this is something that should be looked at by the SEC. I think with the number of shares issued on companies, any company that's over, a billion shares, literally a billion shares. There's lots over that, but any over 1 billion, anyone with 1% of that float should report that they own 1%, which only would be 10 million, right? But,
Yeah. Well, you'd be looking at the the Oracle of Omaha daily. I
yeah, but
would
he
think.
reports his holdings. Everybody knows what Berkshire Hathaway owns and
Well, yeah,
how many shares.
yeah. Well, you telling me they're going to own 3%? Not. I
No, I
mean,
said you have to own more than 3%, or actually, you have to notify the SEC if you're going to buy 3% and hold
uh,
it, and if you have intentions of buying more than 3%,
uh,
and then the next threshold is 7,
yeah.
and then it goes up from there.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure what that has to do with our topic, but okay.
Well, it's just telling. I'm just letting our audience know that
Yeah.
you're in the middle of a setup. I mean, it's one of these things that
Mhm.
when the dike goes, because it's no longer a dam. The dams have all been busted. The only things left are the dikes.
Yeah. Well, well, I
And
don't think
transgenders will come after me for misusing
I
that
know.
word.
Yeah. I don't think Trump or Biden are going to do anything about the recession. Republicans and Democrats don't control recessions. Business does. So business will fix it if it needs to be fixed. So
That may very well be. We'll see.
yeah. Well, I think it will be.
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts, Shane, on what we're talking about today?
Well, I just want to make one comment real clear, that I get this out, and
Mhm.
because this is something that I've been looking at. This Werner group that went after Putin, and now are in Belarus, and they've taken all their heavy guns and everything. It's really important everyone knows that all the genocide that's gone on in the Ukraine was done by these 50,000 guys. These are the guys that were sent into these urban cities or and did all these
Mhm.
massacres and killed all these
Yeah.
people. So they're worse than the SS, during World War II under the Nazis. So it's one of these stories that has to be talked about. Maybe one day we'll talk about it, but it's going to be an interesting issue when this ground game changes here. But it's
Mhm.
going to take years. It could take years.
Yeah. Well, getting back to our topic,
Yeah.
if the Republicans don't wake up, they are in for a tough 4 years coming down the pike. Because right now, the three Supreme Court decisions are going to infuriate the Democrats. The transgender is going to turn out Democrats. The abortion issue in every state is going to turn out Democrats. And none of those issues are Republican issues. And the economy, everybody's used to high gas prices. Everybody's used to doing without. Um, they've just surrendered to that concept. So nobody's gonna go out and vote on the economy, in my opinion. Uh, it's just uh, because politicians don't have anything to do with the economy. I mean, they like to take credit for it, but they don't. I mean, it's obvious. So
Well,
that's
hold
my.
that thought. Hold that thought for a year, because I think you're going to be wrong.
You think so, huh?
Oh yeah, because the
Okay.
economy is going to get worse. No,
Well, it will get worse, yeah, but still, it's not going to. They're not going to go into the ballot box and mark Republican, thinking that Republicans are going to stop a recession. That ain't going to happen. I mean, it
well,
just won't.
maybe all those women in the suburbs aren't going to vote Democrat because of this whole woke trans thing that's happened, and
Well, they
what it's when and all those that see what it's done to their daughters and the sports their daughters are all involved in, and that
Hmm.
it's damaged and misrepresented women, and the Democratic Party supports it, and they don't want to.
Well,
I can take the
mhm.
opposite argument against what you're saying, and
Well, you can, yeah. Mhm.
with regard to abortion,
Yeah.
shut the guy up from South Carolina and just say all that's happened is the states get to decide what to do, and abortion's legal, and it will
Mhm.
continue with the most liberal laws in the world, including Europe,
Mhm.
Russia, and China. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, the most liberal laws in each state will elect Democrats. That's what's going to happen. It'll be the
liberal
House and
laws,
the
or
Senate.
you mean conservative laws?
No, the liberal laws.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because the red states are going to go liberal. What California is gonna probably okay abortions up to 10 years old.
Red states are going to go liberal.
Blue states, I'm sorry, blue states. Yeah,
Well, they haven't changed. That's the whole point.
yeah,
What
but they're
what
gonna.
will
But,
make
but now they've got the
at what
decisions in their
point
hands in their own state.
at what point do the families in the suburbs, and that's all I'm saying, the
Yeah.
families in the suburbs
Mhm.
and the voters of the suburbs, at what point do they say, I've had enough of this woke? I'm done with it. I just can't support it
Well, what you're
anymore. And
forgetting is the families in the suburbs have transgender kids too.
we've already discussed that. The numbers aren't that significant. So,
I know they're not that significant, but the top of mind awareness is.
well, I just don't. I would like to think that this really has come to a point that everyone's on the edge of the abyss and go, do I jump? Because I every time I do this, it gets worse. Every time
Yeah.
I jump for the Democrats, it gets worse. And
Yeah.
this time, I may fall all the way to the bottom. So,
No.
hopefully
Well,
that's what they'll see.
Well, the Democrats didn't cave in on Roe v. Wade. The Democrats didn't crash affirmative action. The Democrats didn't crush student loans. The Democrats didn't crush the free speech on religious rights of somebody to do something that gays don't want them to do. So you tell me. I'd love to have a Republican Congress, president, attorney general, whole 9 yards. We'd be better off. But the way the Democrat Party is working now, and the way the Republicans are working now, I'm concerned for 2024.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you see it that way. You're the American here.
I know,
I'm just giving you a foreign point of view.
I know. Yeah, changing Canada for the visitors who may not watch us for the first time. He's a Canadian
But
conservative.
raised and educated in the United States.
That's right. He
Can't, I
was.
can't.
Yeah.
I was 6 months old when I got there, and I was
Hmm.
21 years old when I came back. So,
Yeah. So.
I've been back here for the better
Mhm.
part of 45 years.
Yeah. Well, today's July 4th, Shane, 247th birthday of the United States of America, and I have been around for 33% of that time. So,
Well, that's another remarkable thing when you think to the future. The next president will get to celebrate 250 your 250th birthday. That's a pretty cool
yeah,
thing.
that's true. Yeah.
And the Olympics, that's a pretty cool thing. And the
Yeah.
World Cup, that's a pretty
Hmm.
all things Trump did. Trump got the Olympics and the World Cup to
Yeah.
be there, and in 24 and 20 or
Yeah.
25 or 26, whatever it is.
All right.
But yeah,
Sounds good to me. Hey, I've got to remind you of a whole bunch of different stuff. First of all, you got to subscribe. I mean, come on. Do you not want to listen to this? I don't know what we call it.
conversation. We're having a conversation, Thomas.
I hardly think it's that. I don't know what it is.
Well, that's what everyone in the media says. We should have or all the
Yeah, we should have
politicians
a
say.
conversation. Yeah,
That's right. We
let's
should have
do
a conversation about this.
Yeah. Well, subscribe. Nothing will happen to you if you subscribe. I promise. No emails will come to you. Nothing will happen in your home. Nothing will happen in your emails. Nothing will happen on your phone. Anything else. Hit the subscribe button. Ring the notification bell that you'll always be notified when we're on, no matter what time zone you're in. And like us, to leave a comment, because we like that kind of stuff. We like to know what you think about what we're doing here. I mean, it's fun, but yeah, we're We're doing it. The other thing I need to remind you, look at the crawl below. Tom and Shane live on radio every Saturday, 8 to 11 Mountain Time. You can listen live anywhere in the world, kmmsam.com. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to leave any information. You don't have to join anything. There's nothing to buy on the website.
Just hitch a ride and come join us.
Just hitch a ride and come join us. Yeah. And if you missed any of our previous shows or podcasts, they are all available. Tom and Shane past shows at kmmsam.com. Just click on Tom and Shane's podcast. They'll take you over to where all of our podcasts and everything happen to be. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell, like us, and let us know the things that you want us to talk about. So we're here every Tuesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, like us, leave a comment. And we want to thank you very much for watching. You're very important to us. We're happy you were here. And we appreciate all your comments and thoughts. And we will see you on our next podcast on Thursday, 5 p.m. Mountain Time.